Hi, I'm Marc Pagani, and this is Tasting Tuesdays. Well, welcome to our second episode. I think the first episode went pretty well. I got some positive feedback. Obama called me and congratulated me, so that was kind of cool. There is an Oscar buzz about me possibly winning for Best Actor for a person portraying somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. So, fingers crossed on that. But if you haven't seen the first episode, I reviewed Colonel E.H. Taylor's single barrel bourbon. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, please do so by clicking right down here. There's a tiny little logo there. You can click on that and you can subscribe, and you'll get all the upcoming videos, you blah, 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 subscription. That's how it works. All right, so today we are going to be looking at Angel's Envy Finished Rye. This is the bottle that I had for the first time at Barrel Proof in New Orleans, great whiskey bar. And I thought it was interesting. I liked it a lot. And I had it again and actually bought my first bottle at the distillery in Louisville. Beautiful facility there. It's relatively new. That was back in December of 2017. And since then I have purchased, I think this is my third bottle total. So if you're interested in jumping right to the tasting, go to right here in the video, and we'll skip all this amazingly informative information. That's not redundant at all. That's coming up. So let's get a little info about this whiskey. Here we have Angel's Envy Finished Rye, which is rye whiskey that is aged for 6 to 7 years in new American oak and then finished in Caribbean XO rum casks for up to 18 months, which, by the way, is equal to the amount of time it takes for a baby pufferfish to fully mature. I just made that last part up. The rum casks serve as cognac casks before being used for rum. It's 100 proof. Its mash bill is 95% rye and 5% malted barley, so it's not 100% rye. It's blended twice in batches of 8 to 12 barrels, first blended and put into the rum casks, then blended again for bottling after they finished aging to maintain consistency. This particular rye was not distilled by Angel's Envy, and we're not sure where it was distilled. Maybe Otumwa, Iowa. All good things come from Otumwa. Angel's Envy only finished and bottled whiskey from the time of their inception in 2011 until they started distilling in 2016. So finishing whiskeys is kind of their thing, as they've done it with every one of their expressions so far. Well, thanks a lot, random narrator, who just gave us all that very, very deep and thorough information. Much appreciated. So now that we have all that in our brains, I think you know what time it is. It's time for some whiskey porn. Whew, I need a cigarette. I don't even smoke, but after watching that whiskey porn, wow, pretty hot. So let's actually try the whiskey. Let's sniff it, let's taste it, and let's talk about it. So if you have a bottle at home, now's the time to go get that out, and we'll do it together. We'll sip whiskey together. If you happen to be a lifeguard on duty at a pool, or maybe operating heavy machinery, now's probably not the best time to do that. Wait until you get home, get yourself a bottle, go home, taste it then. So using this lovely Angel's Envy glass that I got at the distillery. No, actually, I think I got this at a tasting from Andy Borbely here in New Orleans, who at the time was the rep for Angel's Envy. On the nose, the first thing I smell is new rubber tires. Like when you go into a auto tire store and the whole place smells like new rubber, it's a very specific smell. It's not bad. It's just very specific. And I also get a little bit of ethanol just after that. So new rubber tires, ethanol, and at the very end, there's like a little bit of perfumey stuff. I can't identify what that perfume is because I don't know my perfumes, but it's got a little bit of kind of gentle perfuminess at the very end. So let's try it. just like I remembered it the very first time I had it. It's got an intensely maple syrup thing going. And I don't mean syrupy in the sense of consistency. I mean maple syrup as in the flavor of maple syrup. It's actually cool because it mixes with the spiciness of the rye. So it's not overly sweet. If you're into maple, if you're into maple syrup, if you're into pancakes, this might be your jam. No, syrup, yeah, something like that. It's got that maple thing going at first. It coats the mouth really nicely, nice full flavor. I'm gonna give it one more shot. Then it's followed up in the back of the palate and like on the roof of my mouth with some menthol thing. So it's almost like sucrets. Again, not the flavor of sucrets, but the way your mouth feels after you've had a sucrets. And it kind of numbs the roof of your mouth, numbs the tongue a little bit. It's not a burn, it's just a touch of numbing and like a vibration on the roof of your mouth. And then the finish, let's check that out. No real burn. I mean, just a touch, but just the right kind of burn. It's like all over your mouth, not just like strikes you at the back of your throat or anything like that. It's 50% under proof, so it does have some alcohol in there, but it's just the right amount of burn. And that combined with the maple sweetness and the spiciness from the rye and that little bit of burn makes it sort of complex. And, you know, I always thought of this as a really sweet whiskey, a really sweet rye. But you know, when you taste it and you break it down, the only part that's sweet is the initial palate and that bit of maple. So I would definitely buy another bottle of this. This one's halfway done. I had a little party this past weekend and some people were drinking it. But it's about $90 usually, and it's relatively easy to find. Ask your local purveyor of fine whiskeys, and I'm sure you can find a bottle of it. I definitely would buy another bottle. So that's my review of Angel's Envy finished rye. Rye whiskey finished in Caribbean rum casks. I like it. I think you'll like it. Go check it out. Buy yourself a bottle. I'm going to buy another one when this one's done. Make sure you subscribe to the Tasting Tuesdays YouTube channel, and I will see you next week.